All right, we are back in Studio K with 12th House Sun. How are y'all feeling coming off that performance?
Sweaty, but awesome.
Sweet. So we just heard Low, Red 40, and More Than. Are those songs available to listen to anywhere right now? Or
Low and More Than are on streaming services. Red 40 is a new one.
sweet. And are there any plans for recording that? Or
Yeah, we're working on a new EP right now. Still kind of demoing things out, but new stuff coming.
Yeah.
sweet, sweet. The most recent thing y'all did was a split with Silo, where it was just you each did one song and then you did the last one was that you guys both wrote that together. Was that
Yeah,
the
we
deal?
collaborative effort.
That's sweet. What was the process like of writing and recording that?
I was hanging out with Mark and Nikki from Silo a lot, and we were just kind of finding some riffs that worked. And then once we kind of all got together, like full band, the song just kind of like wrote itself. And then later on, we added lyrics and stuff.
Sweet. So I know this band's gone through a few lineup changes. Do you want to tell us about the current iteration of the band, like everyone who's in it, and how'd you all meet?
Yeah, so this is the dream team right here. I didn't really know anyone when I first started, like 12th House Sun. It was just me. And then I started going to shows. And then through social media, I met Rye, who introduced me to Gabriel. And then Rye's partner, B, I met. And then they all knew Sage. And, like, we needed more members at one point, and we all just kind of came together.
That's
Yeah.
sweet.
I have a very different experience
Go ahead.
where Rye is the other guitarist and singer, and my best friend, like going back to high school. And Rye joined 12th House and was like, yeah, I just joined this like cool shoegaze band. And the current lead guitarist, Josiah, who we're still all buds with, but just wanted to move on to more professional efforts. He was talking about like leaving the band, and I was like, Rye, you gotta get me in here. You gotta get me in here. And I was texting Rye like every week, like, did you talk to Kyle? Did you talk to Kyle?
I really enjoy this lineup right now. With the addition of Sage, this feels really solid, and it feels like this is, I don't know, this is it. I've known Sage for a really long time, and it's awesome being in a band with people that I've known for years, and it just feels really good.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then I'm curious, how did you all start getting into music, like individually as kids? Like, how'd you first start playing your instrument, or like the first bands or artists you got into?
Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero straight up.
I've heard that a lot.
I was just super into Guitar Hero, and then my parents like banned me from video games, just like outright, like no more video games. And then my grandma just like lent me her acoustic guitar, and yeah, right then and there I started learning One by Metallica, and it's the rest is history.
Sweet.
Very cool. For me, I was like obsessed with Paramore like my entire childhood. So when I was 10, I started learning guitar, and then I would just bring my Paramore CD to like my teacher, and he would like write out all the tabs for me. And then that's kind of how I learned to like even write music, was kind of going off of their songs and stuff. So, yeah.
It's classic.
Me and Kyle share a love of Paramore. It's like the foundation of our friendship. For me, actually, it was a lot later than everyone else. I'm a photographer first, so I was in the music scene as a photographer, and I didn't start playing music until about 5-6 years ago. I liked seeing people play bass, and I was like, that sounds really cool. I want to try that. And then I've been only in 2 bands now, but they've been both pretty cool bands.
It's awesome. And then for shoegaze stuff specifically, I'm always curious for shoegaze bands. Out of like the big shoegaze 3, like Ride, Slow Dive, My Bloody Valentine, who's y'all's favorite?
For me, I gotta say My Bloody Valentine.
It's tough. I gotta go Slow Dive.
I'm an imposter, actually. I don't have opinions on any of those bands. I just showed up and we play music and it's fun.
That's fair.
Slow Dive.
Sweet. And this question is a little more personal curiosity, but a few summers back, you guys played a show with Greet Death in a very crowded basement. How did that show like come about?
So for me, they posted on their Instagram that they wanted, for that tour, they wanted to do like basement venues. And at the time, I was doing shows out of my basement, and I was kind of the first person to hit them up and be like, come play in my basement. But Gabriel and Rye like actually know them, so. But that was before they joined the band.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was like the first time that I saw 12th House Sun before I was in the band. I was just going to see Greet Death because they're, like Kyle said, Rye and I go way back with Greet Death, and we were like, oh, they're playing like a basement show. That rules. And then 12th House opened for them, and I was like, dang, that's a good band. That's a good band. And then, yeah, now we're all in the band. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Kind of a full circle moment, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sweet. And over the past year or so, you all have been playing some shows from like outside the state, all around the Midwest. What's that been like, just like booking and doing that touring?
It's been really cool so far. I feel like we're just kind of getting our feet in the water with like going outside of Minnesota. Booking can be challenging when you're like first starting out. We're gonna do a little Midwest run in September, and I'm really looking forward to that one. And it was a lot easier to book this time now that we've kind of been other places. So,
Sweet.
yeah. Any thoughts? Yeah.
Any favorite cities you've played, or?
I think we had a really good time in Detroit. That partly is because Rye and Gabriel are from Detroit.
Cool.
Yeah, originally.
That's sweet. Could you kind of run us through the songwriting process? Like, how do these songs start, and then kind of, yeah, what's the process like?
Usually I'm just like in my room, like playing my acoustic, and I'll come up with kind of like a riff or something that sounds cool. I do a lot of like writing in like my journal and stuff for lyrics, and then I'll like try to figure out what fits the melodies that I'm hearing in my head, like lyrically. And then I kind of will like show Rye, and we've been doing like little demos because I live with Rye and B. So we do that, and then we kind of bring it to practice, and Gabriel's been adding some lead guitar stuff.
Yeah, a lot of it is like, or pretty much everything up until this point is kind of like Kyle writes the source material, like the song is written by Kyle, and then we kind of put the finishing touches on it as a band. But more recently, we've kind of been messing around with different processes, like kind of coming to practice with just like a few riffs in mind and kind of seeing where it goes. So that's new and exciting for us.
It's awesome.
Do you have any thoughts? Okay.
And do you have any specific bands that kind of influence your sound, or just comes from all over?
Definitely inspired by like Hum, some Narrowhead, and like Title Fight for sure. That was another favorite band of mine. And Paramore is a big one.
All classics. I was also curious, where did the name 12th House Sun come from?
It's an astrology reference. So if you've ever like looked up your astrology birth chart, I have my son in the 12th house. That probably means nothing to most people. But yeah, I just thought it sounded cool, so I went with it.
Yeah, that's sweet. And I'm curious, what do y'all think about the scene in Minneapolis specifically, now that you've, played shows in and around the Midwest, and some of you aren't even from Minneapolis? Like, what kind of makes the Twin Cities unique?
So Rye and I are from like the Detroit area, and we, spent a lot of time in the Michigan music scene, and it's kind of like more spread out there. And I don't know, coming to Minneapolis, there's just so many bands. There's so many bands, and like everyone is like very, very active, and feels like everyone's got a band. and that like, you know, 3 of their friends play in, and then those 3 friends all each have like their own band that everyone also plays in, and I don't know, there's kind of like an interesting collaborative community here that I feel like I haven't seen as much in other places.
For sure.
I've done my fair share of touring, so I've kind of seen what like DIY looks like in other states. And I will say, I feel like being in Minneapolis, maybe I'm biased because I live here, but everyone that lives here and goes to shows, they just love music so much. Like, I've gone to other places where people aren't even moving a muscle when a band plays, and like every show I go to here, it's just like people are like off the walls, like just absolutely love music.
Yeah, I agree with all of that too. There's definitely like an interconnectedness within the scene, and just a lot of enthusiasm for music, like no matter what genre it is, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. One thing we like to ask everyone who comes in here. So if you all could make a dream bill where it's 12th house on, then you each can pick like 3 other bands and a venue. What's that dream bill gonna look like?
Like any band in the world.
Yeah, they can be dead or alive, broken up from anywhere.
I hate to say it, but Paramore.
Why do you hate to say it?
I've said their name like 10 times in this interview. Here, you guys.
I have no idea. Maybe like I feel like I don't listen to too many. I just want to play more shows with Greet Death. They're my buds, and like we have like a very compatible sound. And if we could just play, you know, maybe can I exchange like a dream bill for just like a handful of shows with Greet Death so I can hang out with my friends?
Yeah, that works too.
Kyle stole my answer. I was also gonna say Paramore. I think that would be a pretty good bill. Just us open for Paramore.
Yeah, so Paramore, Greet Death, and like maybe Title Fight. But that'll probably never happen.
That'd be such a sweet bill. And where's
Yeah.
that show gonna happen at?
Oh my gosh. You guys have any venues in mind? Ecoplex in LA.
Dope. Cool. Yeah, then my final question is just, do you have any other announcements you want the people to know about? Sounds like you're doing some recording and some touring plans in a few months.
Yeah, we're playing a show at 7th Street on August 29th. And then we got like an EP in the works. Anything you guys want to add?
Free Palestine.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for coming in, y'all. This has been super fun. You've been listening to 12th House Sun on Radio K, Real College Radio.